Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Full Force News Burst Live special reaction to the Hasbro live event brought to you by GeneralsJoesReborn.com with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80, repping the G.I. Joe, rocking the Storm Shadow again. I have to keep wearing the same clothes all the time, don't I? It's getting bad. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone's had a very happy morning and a bit of the afternoon. Wow. And I also thought I'd it took me so long to get everything prepared for today because so much to talk about. Um, Crazy pants. What is interesting though is I think pretty much everything that I expected to happen sort of happened. And there were a few things that I thought they would probably touch on, but we never got to them. Obviously, name only reveals was always going to be a crapshoot. Like it was going to be they just pick any name out of the hat. And we got three. We got two at the beginning, and then that random one at the end when Emily felt like she made an error, so she just said, "There you go. Here's another thing." She's great. Team were phenomenal again. I love those live streams. They're so much fun. They seem to. I don't know. It's got really good rapport. I love those guys. It's very awesome stuff. And we'll talk about Lenny butchering my name, won't we? Anyway, so yeah, lots to get stuck into, really. Loads actually to get stuck in. So we might as well just get right into it. So here we go. Right then, so we had Lenny, Emily, and Tony today on the stream. The team that we're seeing the most now. That's the trifecta, isn't it? That we see quite the most often. There they are on screen, and I thought they were really good. I thought again, really fun banter, really good rapport. Sorry, Phoebe's with me down in the basement, and she's just all over the place at the moment. So if you hear any barking, or if I have to kind of pick her up every now and again, that's what's going to have to happen. So yes, brilliant. Again, I really love these guys. They just have the best kind of chemistry on screen and everything. They're just fun, and they have a good time with it. And they gave us a lot of reveals. Again, we got tons of pre-orders. Again, pretty much everything that we'd kind of expected. We said that the fact that we had the four kind of mainline figures as we saw the images yesterday. With those four mainline figures, Norgahide as the figure and pet, the SMS or HMS as it's kind of known on the box, with Techno Viper, even though they said SMS on the actual thing. And Tripwire and Roadblock, it was kind of like okay, and that was I think that was the jungle theme hint. Honestly, I think that's why they use that jungle theme for the live stream, because you had that that thing with Tripwire and Roadblock. So it was kind of interesting. That went up like at about 10 on target. I got loads of messages. I was driving at the time. I got loads of messages come through of like, oh, Tripwire and Roadblock are already on target, or already up for pre-order on target. And I was like, great, I can't do anything about it. Yes, Her Majesty's missile system is what it feels like, Leon, isn't it? The HMS, SMS. But yeah, so I mean, like tons and tons of pre-orders is kind of what we expected. But then there was some very cool things. So let's talk first off character name reveals. Now this was fun. Yeah, Norgahide's in that setting as well, Paul. Good point with the jungle background, but is it really all about? I mean, you could say that it sort of is all about Norgahide. It's a cracking. I mean, what an amazing figure set and everything. But anywho, character name reveals. So this was the part that was like actually the most surprising, because like how last time we had name only reveals, they sort of covered a couple of those unofficial leaks that were floating around, aka You Have Not Passed Your Forklift Drive, no, Starduster and Nemesis Immortal. And I figured that those other two that are floating about from the same sort of leaked scenario might have been thrown in there as well, a la Road Pig and Heart Wrencher, but they weren't. And I'm like, okay, cool. We got new ones. And we got two at the start, which were Saw Viper and Dial Tone, and then Emily dropped the Frag Viper at the end. These are some good additions. She also mentioned that Frag Viper was way off, so I'm expecting like late 2025 or something on Frag Viper, or mid to late 2025. And the same with Saw Viper and Dial Tone, really. I expect all of these in 2025, and the Frag Viper to be just maybe at the end of that, or maybe even the start of 2026. Frag Viper a waste. I don't know about that. That's a weird thing to say. I mean, like, they're all pretty banging troopers, aren't they? I can't think of many troopers that would be a waste, especially when you're talking so far away. But anyway, yeah, Saw Viper is a big one, big character, massive like storyline in Barovia. Obviously, responsible for the deaths of many Joes, including one that we saw on in the pre-orders today. In actual fact, so yeah, Saw Viper obviously taking out Doc was what I'm getting at. Jinx got away with that; she didn't get murdered by the Saw Viper. And I'm just trying to think of who else we saw today. It was all Dreadnought. Dreadnought Torch, Night Creeper, and Norgahide. Yeah, and Techno Viper. It's a lot Cobra heavy actually. Beachhead got away with it as well. That's what we should talk about next as well. So obviously these are the name only reveals. Really excited for Saw Viper. Like I said, a very big kind of character in the Saw Viper, and again, like, that figure is going to be dope. I think they're going to do some really cool things with that figure, and I'm very excited to see how they approach it. Are they going to give him a gun that's actually taller than the figure? Probably not, but it's going to be a big gun in it. Dial Tone is another brilliant addition. Now, we didn't get the kind of, it wasn't like the Jill Morelli kind of like hint. And the fact that we got Doc as his OG Doc, I'm just assuming we're going to get Dial Tone as classic Dial Tone. And, cool, because I love Dial Tone. And I cannot wait for that bloody backpack. I want to see if they do anything like updated and then save some like retro elements for the retro release ofs. But you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if they're going to do something along those lines in a similar way to how I expect Jinx to be kind of like dealt with retro. I've got a feeling they're going to do a Jinx retro and they're going to give her sleeves and just do the head, the masked head, and it's simple in it. Really, it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Oh yeah, I guess we didn't get the backpack with Jinx, so I think that might be a good addition. A backpack with Jinx and then two swords for the backpack would be really cool. I would hope actually that Dial Tone is just Dial Tone, but I've got a feeling they might do some upgrades with his gear, and then they might save the backpack for Retro Land, which is something that seems to be happening, because we'll get to that very shortly. But following, and then of course, like towards the end of the show, Emily said, and Frag Viper's coming as well. There you go, enjoy that. So it's like, what? That's going to have to make some changes on the old graphics, and I have done. That's why it took me almost an hour and a half to get this episode prepared, because I was like, I wanted to just relax, and I didn't want to kind of share everything straight away. I just thought, I'm going to be I'll do the show, and that will be my content for you guys for today. We're not going to do like a every time something was revealed, post it, because it just gets so like tense and like I just don't enjoy it. So I decided, you know what, I'll just do everything in this episode, and we'll talk about everything that's broken. Including, there's another little element of news as well that we will talk about on the show, and that is again an update to the listings technically. So we will get to that in a second. But Frag Viper was dropped, and Frag Viper's a favorite of mine because I remember getting Frag Viper in the UK in, I want to say it was either Sheringham or Chroma. I think we went. I think actually we went both to Chroma and Sheringham that day, and we ended up in Sheringham. You won't understand the places I'm talking about, even if you're from the what's the word, from the UK. But anyway, how about the not so subtle hint of a Night Creeper leader? Yeah, I guess that was like a nice little kind of, well, I mean, it's also, I mean, isn't all of it like, I mean, the kind of, at this point, when someone says a name of a character, it just seems to be everyone goes, "Whoop, that's coming." I mean, they all are, aren't they? Like, I feel like every name, you could say any name, and it's probably on the line plan for the next year or two. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like anything could be said to a some degree. But I think Night Creeper Leader makes sense, and I think they were kind of hinting at it. It felt like more of a hint than normal, put it that way. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily just jump on every single. I know this has been happening for a while, like Sonic Fighters Road Pig specifically. And just anytime they would hold up an action figure in that month of Yojo June a couple of years back, it just got to the point where it was like, not everything is necessarily a hint, and that's proven, seeing as we haven't had some of those figures since. But having said that, I feel like because everything's on the table, that it's more about when are we going to get things rather than we're going to get it. It's just when it's coming is the kind of like, that's the guessing game that we're playing a little bit here, I think. But yes, Frag Viper picked him up in, I think it might have been a thing where we picked up in Chroma and we went to Sheringham. Either way, we were in both places. They're very close to each other. They're very close on the coast of the United Kingdom of East Anglia. And yeah, I just remember having the figure out on the beach and playing with it. And I remember specifically the beach because it was a pebbly one, and I hate pebbly beaches. No, they haven't cancelled the 60th figures. It wasn't a 60th. It wasn't a 60th celebration live stream. It just happens to be the 60th anniversary, which, guess what, will be done in June. Guys, why do we jump to these kind of weird conclusions? Like, we'll get the 60th stuff in Yojo June when they make a massive deal about it. 100%. Anywho, back to the question at hand. Don't worry about the 60th. We're getting more 60th stuff, and it's amazing. We've even had 2 leaked, have we not? So yeah, you're gonna see more of that. I also found it funny that people were like, so we're gonna. Oh, sorry, I dropped something. We're gonna see. So we're gonna see the Marauders today, right? And I'm like, no. The Marauders are much later, and then and people say, oh, they're going to be Target exclusives. I was like, where are you getting this weird information? Or like, are they just guesses that turn into like a sort of internet fact? Because it really perplexes me when you see that kind of happen, where I think like almost like, things are discussed, speculated, and they kind of grow into this like weird, almost fact. But like everything, I don't know, it's just really strange. But anyway, I wasn't expecting to see the Marauders today, and I don't think really, if you really thought about it, I don't think anyone would have done. But yeah, those are going to be later. Anyhow, anywhosen, let's move on to digital render reveals. So we got the first one of Retro Beachhead. So that means the next wave of Beachhead, Eels, and Snow Serpent, which is nice to know. And that kind of, again, gives us an idea of the 3 that follow that. I say an idea only from a listings perspective. But yes, Beachhead, clean, vintage, nice, retro. The backpack is there. The little, is that the original? Is that the crossbow that he came with originally? I think it might be. Like the first one came. I don't know. They might have changed it. They might have given him a different one. I haven't like checked it against the OG. The first classified one yet. But yeah, he's got that rifle. He's got a nice little pistol with the silencer. I think they're like, is that Stalker's pistol? I think it is, isn't it? It looks great. Little gas grenades as well. I think that's stuff from Retro Snake Eyes, is it? Little gas grenades. And maybe even the bag, or is the bag new? Because I don't remember the little niblets on the. Oh, I've got him right here, so I can actually check this time. Yeah, that's Snake Eyes satchel, but I guess in green, or is it in like a grey? It'll be the grey color, won't it? So he's got Snake Eyes satchel and the grenades, which I tend to. I don't know what you guys do, but I always kind of like hook his little grenades on the strap of the satchel. How do you guys utilize the grenades? You put them on his little belt. How do you do it with Retro Snake Eyes? I love this figure, by the way. This figure is oddly just like an absolute low level banger. Like I wasn't like a massive, huge fan of a lot of the retro early figures, but I loved it when they did major things like not Major Blood, Major Things, different character. When they did Gung Ho and changed all of his gear and made him proper retro. And then when they did and a different head sculpt as well, actually. And then they did the Lady J accessories. I really loved that aspect of it. I've outlawed man bags for 80s heroes. Hell no. Man bags all round. When will these retros go on pre-order? Well, we don't really know, do we? But I suppose the guess is what are we now in February, March, April, May, June. So we're talking 4 months. I would suggest that it's probably going to be in June, but I wonder if there'll be something in between that period. It's a decent amount of time, isn't it? It's a decent stretch, 4 months. So, but yeah, I could see them I could see them spreading out. Well, they did do the random vehicle drop kind of thing with the vamp, but again, that was kind of squeezing things into the year. I don't know. It's hard to. I'm trying to think of like what they've done in the past, but last year was so like they just put everything at the end of the year, so it just was ridiculous. Anyway, I don't know is the quick answer that I should have said in the first place. We don't know when they're going to go live, but Yojo June wouldn't be a bad guess, would it? And they'd probably spread it out a little bit, like these some 60th releases, some 60th reveals, Ferret maybe if that doesn't come sooner. Oh, how good is the Ferret? We'll get to the Ferret in a second. But anyway, Beachhead, yeah, phenomenal, looks great. And I'm really excited to get this kind of version of him as well as the original, the Cobra Island one, not the original. Technically, this is sort of the original. Disappointed Beachhead doesn't come with his red beret, but at least he does get it tucked in his epaulette or whatever the hell you call that thing on your shoulder. Oh, these retros are due to release 8/1, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, 1st of August. Is that right, Flaffle? August 1st, as you guys say. So yeah, it will be June then, wouldn't it, if they're August kind of releases. Wave 2 of retro will probably be in April if they are July or August release. April, May, June. Okay, so yeah, a couple of months. Okay, so we could see them sooner then, Darren. That's interesting. Again, I'm really off when it comes to timing. Last year threw me completely. Tristan thinks I'm good with you think you're good with the Cobra Island version of Beachhead. Interesting. Well, not interesting. That's great. I mean, I love that figure. I'm just happy to have two. Again, the more the merrier for me, and keep Beachheads coming. I love Beachhead as a figure, as a character, and he's got like some really good versions out there too. Obviously, there's a cheeky Tiger Force repaint in this retro, is there not? Yes, there is. So that would be kind of fun. Anyway, cheers. Zevia, I'm stolen one of Kate's ginger root beers just because I stole it. Sorry. And everyone send their regards to Kate. She is traveling. She went out to see her folks this weekend. So me and Phoebes are holding the place down. Anyway, yeah. So massive shout out to my lovely wife, Kate. I hope you have a great time, and love to all the family. Anyway, Beachhead, amazing stuff. Love it. Next up, we have Retro Cobra Eels. Now, I've got an eel up inside me, finding an entrance where it can. If I just carefully, without knocking every figure over in that thing, there we go, I did it. I just wanted to see what the differences were, because they did say subtle differences, and I couldn't see a darn difference in these. Yeah, I don't think there's actually any. I think when they say subtle difference, they mean so subtle that it doesn't exist. A subtle, non-existing change. Yeah, I don't think there are any changes. The knife's still got a red handle. Oh, I know what the subtle change is. It's a blue loop on the thing. Is that it? It's just a blue loop on the harpoon gun. That's it. Actually, that's quite fun because at least that does give us a bit of difference. I know that is ridiculously minor, but it does kind of break them up into little like group, like red team and blue team, even though they're all red mainly. I wonder, is there anything on the backpack? I wonder. I wonder if the backpack maybe has like a different color on it. No, it's probably going to match the actual figure base, isn't it? So I don't think they change anything there. Maybe on the actual head, is there anything on the? No, that's going to be the same as well. Interesting. Yeah, just the strap color then, because obviously the loop strap on the harpoon is red, and that one's blue. You'd think they'd change like more than that. Anyway, it's not a big deal. I actually assumed this was going to be a full-on reissue because it just felt like that was something that I think people. Oh, skin tone. Thank you, Paul. Is it a different skin? Well, there you go. That's a great idea. That's a great idea to do different skin tone. Phenomenal stuff. Okay, well that does actually make it actually quite interesting then. Well, that's good. So that's enough, I think. So skin tone and harpoon loop, we'll say. There's a gold bolt on this one though, isn't there? Or is that yeah, there's a gold bolt on the on this one. This is gold as well. So I don't think the bolts, unless it's like a darker color. It does look a little darker on the retro one, the bolt part, but it's effectively this is gold too. That's why I didn't really flinch at it because I looked at them and I thought, oh, they're both gold. Anyway, so yeah, might be like a slight difference in tone on that. I actually don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong, mate. I'm just saying I think you might be right because there's like a difference in like at least in tone on the bolt. It looks darker on the render, but it could just be the render. Could be a different tempo on the pack, Paul. I mean, yeah, it's all very, very minor stuff. If there is, I mean, it's really minor stuff. But I figured this was be a reissue because they sold out like that, and people have found it really hard to get these. Just releasing them as an like they are cheaper, I think, aren't they? Only by a little bit. Maybe they're the same price as regular classified. I can't remember. I feel like they're cheaper. I feel like they're like 19.99, or have I gone mad? Anyway, it's quite good that we've got like an army builder option now for people that missed out on the eel anyway. So I'm just going to go with that. It's a reissue. It's all good. Moving on. For the completists, you're going to want that as well, obviously. The grey wetsuit may be a little darker too. Oh, you know what? It could be the lighting, but you might be onto something there. There might be a subtle difference. And yeah, because he did mention, excuse me, Tony and Lenny were kind of talking, weren't they? And Tony did say, in a similar way to that they did with the Crimson Guard and how there's a subtle difference there. Yeah, that's a good point actually. So yeah, it could just be the render, but yeah, maybe there is some subtlety. Well, we'll see, won't we, when we get one, when we see the leak and they do the comparison with the leak images with a photo that they've taken using some sort of baked potato, twice baked potato, something other than an actual camera to take the picture. So no white gloves on dock. We'll get to that in a second, Soda, but no, I don't think so. Anywho, eels. Then we get the snow serpent, and again, this was sort of an expected kind of move. I love the fact there's a white figure stand. That's dope. But I love it's everything I expected and kind of thought was going to happen. The kind of like the snow serpent with the blue and that makes sense to me. It just makes sense. We've got a backpack. Oh, sorry, my multitasking. I'm just going to tell her I'm on TV. And Kate was saying that one of our nieces had asked where I was. Isn't that sweet? Isn't that sweet? Anyway, I just told her I'm on TV, so maybe they'll put it on and then I'll be talking about her. Yes, I'll give her a shout out. Kate says she may put it on. I'll give her a shout out if she messages me to say she's watching. I'll shout them out. Anyway, yeah, like this. Oh, is it Dusty's gun and backpack? That is actually quite interesting. I hadn't actually looked yet. Yeah, I thought with the snow serpent, other than the deco, which is great by the way, plus gives us army builder options now. Like that's something. Don't get like too hung up on anything else other than the fact that we have the opportunity to like army build without too much expense. So we don't have that deluxe anymore that is the only way to kind of army build a Snow Serpent. No, we have the like a nice basic version, different deco, and we can like trawl out the the army building kind of scene here, which is great. What we saying? A little disappointed in the Snow Serpent. Not, hang on, not coming with the mortar launcher or the retro snowshoes. Also, the eel could have used some retro accessories. Yeah, like I suppose like more retro accessories would have been cool. But like this is also, I don't know, the eel's so close. I don't really need something that's exactly the same. Like it's so close already. I think the eel is perfect, honestly. And if you want more of them, now you can get more of them. With the Snow Serpent, it's just unlocking an army building benefit, isn't it? In a different way to the eel, this allows you to army build this figure now, basically. Anyway, and I love the deco is great. I love the blue. It really kind of pops on this paps. But yeah, dusty backpack and rifle. That is an interesting inclusion. And I hadn't looked at the backpack yet. I had honestly assumed they'd gone with some sort of like new backpack, but that's fine. Oh yeah, no AK, but I've got a figure. We've all got a figure that probably is the weirdest figure to have an AK-47, and that's the Sarge. Just take the Sarge's AK off him, give him Dusty's rifle, and he can have the AK. Done. Dusted. Covered in mustard. You just need to buy like 50 Sarges. In fact, there's another one coming. There's a Marauder Sarge coming, isn't there? So just get that one out of that. Get that one out of that set because it's coming again. We're getting another AK in that set, and give it to this guy. Done. Done. Dusted. Covered in mustard. That's 2 AK-47s if you collect all these figures, right? Sarge don't need a gun. Exactly, Scott. That's 2. So if you're getting a minimum of 2, you're done. There you go. Boom. You see, I like helping the community with my amazing ideas. I'm just kidding. Of course, everyone's already thought of that. And the Sarge was on sale at Ollie's for like $4, says Jedi Pen. Yeah, basically. Anyway, there's the Snow Serpent. I've talked way too much about 2 effectively basic repaints, haven't I? Anywho, cool. I'm liking the fact we've unlocked army building capabilities for the Snow Serpent, and we've added to the army building capabilities of the very successful sellout of the eel. Done and dusted. And of course, Beachhead, brilliant stuff. Right. It's kind of ticking some boxes in a sense. But you know, I think we all kind of like we raised our expectations a little bit with the retro, and I didn't help because I was like speculating like crap, and I was going like, I kind of hope they do some retro inspired accessories with the Snow Serpent and with eels and up inside you and all that stuff. They have done with Beachhead at least. So I mean, a lot of the tooling's probably tooling budget has gone into that particular figure in this retro series, but all well and good for me. Keep them coming. Next, boom. Now this actually might answer a few questions. A gem of this size. This is an eel, but one that rides a scooter. I'm just kidding. You know how we saw that, and I should have put it on I should have put it in the slideshow, but I completely forgot because I was sort of rushing, but also taking my time at the same time. That's a dichotomy that just doesn't work. So there was a vamp image, wasn't there, with Clutch kind of getting the Shelton or like almost nothing, and in the distance there was what looked to be a well, we all kind of just jumped to Stinger Driver, did we not? And it turns out that it looks very much like it was this Ferret driver because the Ferret's in there, like on the vamp artwork, it's on the promo shots. The figure obviously had to be in there too. The helmet was in there. So the fact that the figure was in there and we were all kind of saying, oh, Viv says hi, Viv. Shout out to Viv and Vader, and of course Kate and the entire family. Hi, I hope you're doing well. I wish I could be there. I'm sorry I'm not. Phoebe also says hi. She's down here. She's sleeping at the moment. I'd pick her up, but she is sleeping. Anyway, love you all. Hi, darling. Yes, right. So we kind of looked at this figure, or this like distant kind of grey blur, and we all thought Stinger Driver, and I think everyone did. I did. Most people did. And I mean, with the fact that it was the clutch with the vamp, again, it's always the most obvious answer, isn't it? It's almost like, because we initially I had said from the get-go that looks like it might be the Cobra Ferret Scout, or I didn't say Scout at the time. I think I just said the Ferret Driver, or the Ferret, or whatever the trooper would be that came with this Ferret at the time. I'm not sure if we knew if it was the Ferret Scout at that point. We knew it was a female figure. We had an idea it was a female figure based on the render box work on the box work. It's not artwork, I guess. So I'll just say render artwork on the box. So it looked like a female figure, didn't it? So like we all kind of went, well, there's going to be a female, like maybe a Valkyrie sort of repaint sort of job. And I haven't really looked at the figure at all. Phoebe is worn out from all the excitement, Joe. Yeah, big time. She got all. Yeah, I know. You are, aren't you? She's asleep. She's literally snoring right now. You can probably hear her, actually. Listen. Anyway, she is snoring. If you can't hear it, you just have to crank up the volume at that point. Anywho, so it's always the most obvious answer. I said at the time it's probably the Ferret's driver. Then, of course, we found out that it was the Ferret Scout. And yeah, it's effectively must be what we're seeing in that image. I'm actually going to get that image up later, Kitty said, and I'm going to just double check against this, because I mean I feel like there was like red in it. There was almost like you could almost see where the logo would be. I feel like it is just definitely the Ferret driver. Now, that doesn't say that we're not going to get a stinger, does it? But I feel like it was always the most obvious answer, and we all kind of avoided it because we were going in the we were going like they're going Easter egg crazy. Anywho, I'd love a Night Force Ferret, says the real Zim. Yeah, I think it's possible, isn't it? It is a possibility, 100%, because we got the Night Force Ferret in like, was it the club did that? I'm pretty sure they did. And yeah, I would, be all over that. I think it'd be wicked. I think the Ferret looks phenomenal. Talking about the driver a lot, but the actual Ferret looks great. I think it's a brilliant. It's going to be awesome, isn't it? I can't wait to see it in full. I can't wait to see the turnarounds, the actual vehicle, this figure as well. Again, is this a Valkyrie repaint, guys? I imagine there are going to be elements of reuse in the body parts, but I haven't got a Valkyrie, but they're up there. And I don't want to disturb the display because it's just going to collapse if I touch it. Let me know in the comments if you know if it is a Valkyrie repaint. I can't tell. It probably is, and certain elements at least. The secondary might be different, might be new. The helmet looks dope. And is it blue and white, or is it like a dark grey and white? I can't make that out. The renders are great, but they never really show you clearly what the colors are going to be. It is pretty sure just different secondary, obviously. Thank you, Paul. It looks like the Valkyrie Buck. That's what I was thinking, Sean. Yeah. That hitch on the HMS is for the four-legged bat. I want Sabretooth with the tiger paw, real Zim. Well, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? I genuinely think that is a possibility. I genuinely think that's a possibility, and that's all I'll say about that. Looks like a Valkyrie. Yeah, I think Valkyrie. Yeah, I think we're right, guys, on that one. Right. Anyway, I mean, wasn't the OG Stinger driver just a Cobra repaint? Yes, Scott, but I think everyone thought that they were looking at the Stinger driver as opposed to effectively what the Ferret Scout is in the shot. Yeah, blue and grey to me. Yeah, it does look like a bluey grey. Yeah. Anyway, the Ferret's awesome. I'm really excited for this one, and yeah, can't wait to actually start seeing this one. Hitch on Ferret? Question mark. How would we tell? It's almost impossible to see, isn't it? Like, I don't think we can tell on that one. If there is, it's probably hidden by the wheels or the tires at the back. Obviously, you've got the winch bit at the front, which is pretty cool. I don't think it'll work because we have a winch. Well, actually, we have a working winch on the Vamp, but maybe I don't know if this will be like if that's a working winch. I'd be one. I'd be really excited. Two, I'd be really surprised. And three, I'd probably just immediately say it's reused from the Vamp, but I don't know at all. What do you guys think? Because that's a winch, isn't it, at the front? Night Creeper already sold out on Pulse. No other fan channels have it up for pre-order yet. It'll give it time. They'll be back. I don't think this could tow the HMS really well. No, it couldn't. It would have to be towed by the HISS tank. Anyway, BBTS has it. There you go. Go nuts. My FOMO has officially kicked in. Yeah, you get it on BBTS, dude. Don't worry about it. I don't get the teeth on the helmet. Well, it's because it's like fangs, isn't it? It's like a like a snake head, basically, I guess. But anyway, yeah, there you go. That is the Cobra Ferret and Ferret Scout. Lovely stuff. Now, Tripwire and Roadblock. So I was driving at the time, and I started getting messages left, right, and centre saying, "Oh, Tripwire and Roadblock are up on already." At like 10 o'clock or whenever it was. And I was like, God darn it. Really? Okay. So there you go. Brilliant stuff. Now the back of the render, I was kind of searching for anything just to see if there was any kind of like stuff on there. Effectively, you got the original Checkpoint Alpha, but made of, it was like the original model they made out of matchsticks. No, this is effectively like what we're getting with the kind of jungle theme and the kind of building in that jungle background and everything. It's kind of carried over into this really cool like kind of setup. I kind of like it how you've got the waterfall in the background as well. McLeod just chilling out in the background, yeah, as I do, just kind of chilling out near the pool, yeah, just get catching some rays as you do, as I do. Lenny stumbling over my name was priceless, Chris, and I'm going to ask him if he did that on purpose, just because he's a d bag, or if he genuinely did have trouble. I think he was having a go, because obviously we've been in contact about this. Anyway, he knows how to say my name. Anyway, yeah, really into I'm really happy they've done these. Like again, it kind of ticks boxes, but at the same time, they're dope figures. Like Tripwire's phenomenal, and to get him in Tiger Force and to get McLeod in Tiger Force, get out of town. A lot of people having mixed emotions on the box art, on the new box designs. I've seen a lot of people say like straight away, like they love it. They thought it was great. But I've also seen like it's almost like a 50-50 split. And I've seen a lot of people saying that they're not a fan of the minimalist vibe, as I just saw with Rachel's comment there. Yeah, interesting. Interesting kind of response, in differences in the way people are kind of finding this stuff. But I have to admit, I'm just happy we've got the render artwork on the back, and we get like the opportunity for homage, even if there's nothing in there. I have looked, I couldn't see anything. You might be able to see, you might be able to find something, or something might stand out to you that didn't to me. But I think it's generally it might just be a location thing. It might just be like a location homage. Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Jeremy. The number for the 2-pack is F9432. Do I have that? Do we have that anywhere? I'm asking you, Jeremy, because I know that you also keep an extensive list of numbers and spreadsheets and stuff like that. Can you let me know if I don't think we had that one. I think we had we knew the two figures were coming as a 2-pack, but we didn't have a listing. We didn't have like a code name for it. It was just like their names and Target exclusive, etc., etc. So we just never knew. But that's great. Thanks, mate. I suppose you got that off Hasbro Pulse, didn't you? F9432. I will make a note of that because I want to add that to my list of ridiculous stuff. And that means I'm going to stop the stream, what I'm doing right now, and I'm going to do that because I can't multitask for crap. 9432. 9432. Brilliant. It is noted. Now, Jedi Ben says it's okay. I'm just glad the window is back. Yes, too bland artwork for me. Says, like, yeah, no artwork anymore. It's just the render artwork on the back, but none of that. Like, well, they might have it on the sides. The artwork might still be on the sides, but I haven't seen a side shot yet. Have you? Where was the ferret today? Says Andy. It was there. Where were you for the last 20, 30 minutes when I was talking about the ferret? It was a digital render reveal, but my man. Or do you mean where was the pre-order for it? Because yeah, they just did a render reveal for it. We need a heavy duty, says Carl. Yes, 100%. People hated no windows. They demanded windows. Hasbro wants to use less plastic, so smaller box. Now people are mad about that. It's always, I mean, no, we're never going to be happy ever, ever. Profile images are still on the side. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, there was those little angle shots, aren't there? Yeah, I always forget to add those because I kind of have like the packaging artwork. I have like the figures out on a white background artwork and the images, and then I think I don't need to have all of them. Boo boo! Are you kidding me, Jeremy? So we can update the listings. Hey, we had it all along. Boo boo! This is what this is. We had the listing all along. We just didn't know what it was. There you go. This is how I get really excited when another listing gets unlocked. This is me excited. Anyway, going back to this style of box without hanging tab on top is great for me and all the box protectors I have. Awesome. And that's Martin that said that, sorry. Anyway, yeah, cool. All right then, wicked. Is that a watchtower or the watchtower, says Leon? That's actually, you're right. It's more the watchtower than it is the checkpoint, which is kind of stupid thing to say from me. Yeah, but yeah, you're right, 100%. Brilliant. Awesome. Anyway, that's the packaging done. Figures look phenomenal. I know people have like, love it or hate it relationships with Tiger Force, but I love these. I love the deco. I love the camouflage. I love the colors, and I love these figures as they are. Heavy Artillery Roadblock is a straight up banger, and so is Tripwire. There's just no, for me, like they're like high level figures for the classified series, and to get them in Tiger Force, brilliant. And of course Tiger Force McLeod, so sweet. And there's a back shot, Kitty said, showing a few of the little details in the backpacks as well. And of course McLeod there with his Tiger Force on him. Look at him with his little Tiger Force face on. Oh, and he cute. Anyway, cheers. Brilliant stuff. Then, of course, they did actually show some lovely promo shots. I don't think I've got all of them, and they're probably all on Pulse now, and I just haven't been able to. I forgot, all right? I forgot to go to Pulse. I forgot to steal all the images on this particular 2-pack. So I've just got the ones that they showed on screen. Apologies, but amazing. Mustard Mishap Tripwire. I like that. Charlock, I like that a lot. Tiger Force Tripwire is a vivid childhood memory, so I was quite excited to see these. Big time, Joshua. Same for me, actually. That I had, it was only that version of Tripwire that I had as a child. So you can imagine my glee that not only have they, well, also butchered my name, but not only have they thrown it on his little robot, but then we get it in Tiger Force as well. I thought, when I heard that this was a 2-pack, I assumed they were stripping him down to just the basic retro version, if you get what I'm saying. And they weren't going to, I didn't expect to see McLeod in there as well, honestly, because it just makes an absolute nightmare for the guys that have to write the copy on the box. Look at that. That is a book of information on this on the top of that. Roadblock, Tripwire, and McLeod, mobile armored control lever for explosive ordnance disposal in brackets. Ridiculous. I love it, though. I'm not going to complain. They've been really pushing the Roadblock firing his Amadus on the ground like that, haven't they? On the back of the artwork, on the white image with background with just the figures, on this image, and I'm here for it. Looks great. And then this is a nice one as well. Like Tripwire has just been like, he's been startled in the woods. Jungle, sorry. And yeah, he's just like about to shoot somebody. Anyway, yeah, nice one. And again, we're ticking off Tiger Force characters, which now leaves for the OGs, I think, Lifeline, Frostbite, Sky Striker, and who else? I can't remember. Anyway, we haven't gotten any new TFPP from Target in months. This was overdue, says Ed. Yeah, the last ones we had with the was it Copperhead Troop, the Trofficer, and the Televipper with the Trouble Booble, right? I can't say any words properly. I'm too excited. Today's been too exciting. Since the 2-pack is Boo Boo, which is Boo 1 and which is Boo 2, hilarious, Jeremy. I don't know. Oh, Wreckage, I guess, and Sabretooth, yes, figure 6-pack. But technically they weren't. It's not an OG. He was a cancelled figure, wasn't he? So same with Ripcord, but I could imagine them doing that. And Torpedo, another one I would throw in there, actually. Yeah, that would be sweet. Sweet as a nut. Yeah, only 3 more classic TFs. Yeah, they should be able to clean that up nicely. Did we talk dial tone already? Yes, we did. When they did the name only reveal. Yes, we've done that at the beginning. Okay, if we're going to throw in Psych out, then that means in terms of OG European exclusives, we've got Hit and Run, Blizzard, Tunnel Rat, Sneak Peek, and Psych out. And then of course we've already got Outback, and that's it. Yeah, that's the only one we've got so far of those. But we definitely need all those European exclusives for sure. A Psych Out and Crystal Ball 2-pack would be amazing. Yeah, TF Torpedo would be phenomenal. While Bill isn't an OG Tiger Force character, he is in the Tiger Force like later on. I'm talking like that, like vintage period, basically. Yeah, but Dialtone's Tiger Force as well. There's loads of. I mean, if you're adding all of the Tiger Force characters in, then it just keeps going. Now Snake Eyes and Scarlet are in it. If you count Super Sevens in, additions to the brand. Anywho, that's Tripwire, and you can pre-order them at 1 p.m. Eastern today, or 10 a.m., which was what 2, 1, 12, 11, 10, like 4 hours ago, or 1 p.m., which was over an hour ago. So I am late to the party for the pre-order information, but I figured you guys were already on that anyway, and what difference does it make? I know I'm not the only one, but I was really hoping for it to see an Alpine render. Hey, we're gonna see him, so just bottle up that like excitement and keep it for when it comes out, because you're gonna explode with excitement. Wasn't Bill originally in Tigerfly before swapped to Recondo? I mean, like from a concept phase, yes, but like it was gonna be. He technically, Wild Bill is Tiger Force then, because in the UK, Rekondo's repaint was called Wild Bill. So technically, even if he didn't make it into the US kind of scenario, he is technically in Tiger Force as the Tigerfly pilot as a Recondo repaint. So you're right, Jeremy, as well, by saying that. Frostbite needs to come with the Tiger Cat. Agreed. And if the rumors that a Snowcat is in the offing, then I'm pretty sure a Tiger Cat wouldn't be far behind. Or a prepaint. I don't know. Whatever you want. But yeah, I would definitely want Frostbite, the Snowcat, and Tiger Force Frostbite and the Tiger Cat 100%. Yes, he was one of those cancelled ones. Mold was in use elsewhere, so they pulled Recondo from the single-carded figures and packaged him with the Dragonfly. Thank you, Paul. That must be why they were sold out at 1 when I logged into order. Yeah, it would have just been, oh, right, for Target. Yeah, they were up at 10. It's ridiculous. What Night Force could we see this year? Let's talk about that later. Could you ask that question when we do the Q&A bit, Crimson Vade, if you're still watching at that point? Because we need to get through these. But that's a good question, and I want to talk about that. Anyway, Doc next. And again, people are talking about the packaging, not really liking the slimline version of it. I couldn't give 2/3 of a monkey's uncle. I don't know what that means. I couldn't care less about the package dimensions, I was going to say. But I will say that because at this point we have 1,000 different sizes, colors, decos, designs of packaging. It's just redonkulous, isn't it? Absolutely goddamn ridiculous. Anyway, Carl Doc Greer is an absolute banger in my opinion, and I'm all over this. Like, he's just great. Now, people have been saying, why haven't you got the white gloves? And I have no idea. I think what happened. This is what I think has happened, and I will confirm this. But I think the copy is old that they used on the G.I. Joe Day reveal, and they had to cost some things out. And because of that, you get the copy that says he's coming with alternate white gloved hands, some other things as well. There's some other things in there too, and because of that, they were costed out, but they didn't change the copy in time to, when it came to posting it. So it was probably just a miscommunication between the engineering, or maybe even just the team, and the whoever was putting out the social stuff. Do you think the stretcher attaches to the Dragonfly? Almost certainly. But I think we probably won't find out until they do another Dragonfly update, and then we might see something there where they show it off. That's a good point, actually, Captain K. They should go with an army green. This looks like Night Force packaging. Yeah, like I feel like it's all subtle now. It's all this. They've uniformed it across the brands, across all of the releases, and the only difference will be the logo that appears on it, like Tiger Force or Night Force or Mad Marauders, or Cobra, whatever it may be. You're going to have a Python Patrol. It's going to be very similar, kind of like uniformed packaging. It looks like going forward. So I don't know. It's non-stop. Like every wave, isn't it? Every wave there's a new packaging style, and I was really vibing with what we had. I think this was my favorite, where you had the render, the artwork, and you had that, and you had the artwork on it. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot going on, but this was my favorite. There is an element, or there's a bit of a Black Series vibe, isn't there, with these kind of ones? But again, I don't care. I think it still looks cool, and you can see the figure. You got the window there for all the window, the window lovers. That's gross. I don't want to say that. Aren't proper PPE gloves blue? Well, yeah, I guess, but I think it was really more I don't know, maybe like an 80s kind of thing. Hasn't he been shown? I think he's come with like white gloves or something in the past. Maybe, or maybe I'm imagining that. I don't know what the reasoning would be. Maybe it's a military thing. I don't know. The cardboard liner inside would be a great place to change colors. Blue mainline stuff, and imagine orange for Night Force. That would be cool. I agree with that. Yeah. You keep your kind of like consistent exterior, and you have like a different window peepers. I like that. Hi, it's me. We'll say window peepers. That's a lovely way of saying it. The inconsistency on packaging is a small price we pay, and it's not even exclusive to the classified series. I mentioned Black Series a second ago, but then look at the amount of different like packaging they've had over the years. Anyway, let's move on to his beautiful shots. Now, I jokingly said last night when this was leaked, this image on the left, jokingly, I was like, is he in a building that's been hit by a shells or whatever, and there's a crack of light like showing through, or has he fired his flare out? And no, he's just in an alleyway, you idiot. Yeah, he was in an alleyway, and they're buildings, and he was about to fire the flare up, or he has fired the flare up, and that's the Dragonfly light coming down, which is kind of cool, isn't it? He hasn't come with white gloves that I recall, but the Resolute Doc had green nitrile glove. I don't know how to pronounce that. I've never heard that word before. I'm going to learn it. But yes, he had green gloves basically, apparently, for the Resolute Doc. He did, didn't he? Come to think of it now. Yeah. Anyway, put some Power Rangers lightning gloves on, Doc. Yeah, there you go. Done. After failing to save Shockwave's life, he's calling for help. Yeah, Shockwave is done. I also didn't recognize that it was Shockwave until someone pointed out because I'm an idiot. I'm like, is that a Cobra Trooper? Why is he helping a Cobra? I'm just joking. Well, I'm an idiot at the same time there. Was he in a mission in Benzine with the other Joe? Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. And we won't talk about that because Saw Viper's coming next, and he's gonna get PTSD from that. Anyway, brilliant. And then you got this is a fun one as well with the crossbow bolt in Jinx's knee. Brilliant. And so he's like, hell, I'm being really utilized today, as he's running around trying to like help all the injured Joes. Brilliant stuff. Again, I love the fact the stretcher goes in the backpack. It's wicked. These shots are beautiful as well. There we can see Shockwave. He's all right. Look, he's fine. And then here, Doc is just like, he's done for the day. And he's like, oh, that was a mess of a mission. Put the helmet down. They've all gone. He's left on the scene. And they forgot to pick it. They forgot to take him. So he's like, great. Well, I guess I'm staying here for the night. That's how my terrible narrative goes with these. Anyway, the actual figure looks wonderful. Really, I'm so stoked for this one, honestly. I love how he looks. I love the gear he comes with. All the little kind of like pouches and stuff that come off and pop on. And he can have the holster on the back if he wants. He can have, it's just really cool. It's just really cool. Jinx was on a mission to audit the night creepers. She's an accountant. Brilliant. Translucent lenses. I didn't even notice that on the glasses. Is that true? Are they translucent? That's wicked. I'm gonna have to zoom in and really get a look in, but that's really cool, man. If that's the case, nice tampos as well. They've created these from scratch. They've made them with the kind of mindset of them being what we imagine GI Joe medical kind of patches and tampos would look like. So that's a nice little touch as well. I would love the option to buy figures with no packaging. It would be great cost cutting, environmentally conscious, and it's unnecessary, says Mr. Cheeseburger. That's not bad. I mean, it really depends on who would be into doing that. But I think there would be a lot of people that would be into doing that because I know people that buy the figures and literally take them out and throw the packaging immediately away. I know many people that do that. They just don't need it, don't care for it, takes up too much space, etc., etc. They're going to display them anyway. So yeah, and then the people like loose collectors and people that maybe want to buy for custom purposes. I think there would be a market there, but I don't know how they would kind of go about doing that necessarily. Because it very has vibes of like the club's bagged sets that they would do sometimes when they would do the concepts. You'd get like a box set that with a really kind of fancy display and everything, and then you could also get a bagged set of figures as well. Anyway, the stretcher I think looks really good. It seems to work really well as well. Like there's little tabs on the top and the bottom. Kind of it has the hinge that folds. The tabs connect so that it closes. It has little legs on it as well, so it can kind of stand off the ground. But also, that's genius because it also allows there to be that backpack peg, so that when you lay it down, the backpack peg isn't like in the way. That makes loads of sense, and I really like that as a design cue. And then obviously you can put it on his back this way, or you can put it on his back that way. And honestly, I was kind of vibing with this way. When he showed it and he had the figure on, I was kind of like, I quite like that as an aesthetic, where the handles are at the bottom. Even though like on all the images you have it flipped the other way around, I quite like this vibe, honestly. But yeah, brilliant. Doc, check, lovely stuff. The Nacht Creeper is perfection. I don't care what anyone says. Like, for me, this is perfect. This is action figure perfection for me. I feel like they have done they've done everything and more to give you what was the vintage version, and done little extras that don't take away from that vintage aesthetic. They improve on it. And I genuinely believe this. Like, this is how I feel about this figure. This is classified series at its finest, right here. The Nacht Creepen. So yeah, you've got, so let's like break it down. You've got the Night Creeper figure, which is just gorgeous. What a stunning like design. Beautiful. The deco, again, perfect. The head sculpt, yes. Little hood thing as well that goes over the top, brilliant. Just every single element of this is just great. Shoulder pads as well, like kind of like shoulder kind of armor pieces, what have you. The chest, is that a secondary? I'm guessing it's a secondary. I didn't really. Yeah, it's the secondary. Perfect. The silver pads and everything, little armor things, brilliant. The kind of like the color choices, very much like the vintage, but just I don't like very slightly tweaked to just make it even better. And the camo, next level, next level. And the fact you get the camo on the little wrist gauntlets as well, brilliant. So an absolute tour de force of an action figure right here on its own, perfect. Already sold out on Pulse. I might, you know, there you go. That's why, because it's perfection. The backpack, brilliant. The kind of like little quiver on the sides type situation, brilliant. The swords, both swords go in the backpack. That's one better than the original did. It's gone one better already. So check. The crossbow and the bolt, brilliant. You know, the original was massive. Like I didn't expect them to give him that, like, you know, like what effectively is like a dinner table of a of a crossbow. But again, wicked, perfect for the night creepers. And then, of course, the swords, the Madam Two swords, and the fact that Lenny said he wanted it to be like the the jagged one is like tipped with poison, so there's a real like tinge of green running through it, as if the blade is poisoned. That's so cool. And of the barbs on it as well. I mean, it's violent. I mean, like that goes in you. And that's when it comes out. It won't, because it'll be like wedged in. But like if you were to try and pull it out, everything else is coming with it. Like that is crazy pants. And then the other sword, with the kind of wavy wobbly one, they've kind of made you know, like believable, I guess. They it's just great. Get both of them on that backpack, please, and thank you. Lovely stuff. Then you have the two little extra additions. The hands, which they call the chopping hand, but I'm pretty sure it's a climbing claw, isn't it, as well? I think it's like a twofer. And then, of course, the ninja star thrower for Snake Eyes. Great. Throw them in there. Lovely stuff. Purples. Lovely. Thank you very much. The two little knives with the little loops on the end so that you can hold them in his thumbs and fingers. That's great. And also, like, they go in the old sheaths as well on the side of his belt. And finally, the coup de grace, the option for a little bit of difference in your ranks. Shabba ranks, with the version 2 head. And also, if that isn't them going, we're doing a version 2 in the future, I don't know what is, honestly. So brilliant. Brilliant. So yeah, really into that. And that head in that deco, beautiful, by the way. Just next level. So this for me is action figure perfection. Do we have a reverse shot of the box? That's another thing I should have done before I went on. Just let me know in the comments. Have they shown a back shot, Kitty said, of the Night Creeper box or any of the boxes? I'm going to look, because I haven't got them on here, and I might do that as like that'll have to be an extra episode, because I sort of need to talk about the homage, if there is any in there, don't I? I feel really stupid now for not checking to see if there was a back shot, which I'm sure that, yeah, there is. Oh, and there is stuff in there, isn't there? Let's have a look. Oh, it's just another Night Creeper. That's an interesting background. There isn't necessarily anything crazy homage in there. Maybe it's a Statue of Liberty, isn't it, that they're on? I think that's a Statue of Liberty, like the torch. But yeah, oh yeah, I really wish I put this on this on the really wish I'd put this on the show. I haven't done it. I'm sorry, guys. I failed you. You failed. We'll do an extra. I'm going to do an extra episode because not like maybe later tonight. Maybe we'll do a later episode later tonight where we look at the backs of the packages. How about that? Does that sound fun? Probably not. Everyone's like, just get on with it, you absolute D bag. Right. So again, great product shots, absolutely gorgeous. I should look at the other ones then, really, shouldn't I? I should look at, like, you know, Doc and Bashful and Sneezy. Anyone get that joke? I hope so. Did we see Norgahide's box? Kitty said. Did we? Yeah, we saw the front of it. Did we see the back of it? Yes. Oh, that's nice. With the rain. I'm definitely doing an episode on this later, guys. Okay. We'll do it later, and I'll talk about the backs of the boxes because that's a fun little side episode. So, and we'll dig for homage as well, even though you probably already have done. Whatever. Just stream all day, every day might actually happen. You're not a D-bag. Stop it. You're fantastic. Thank you, Diana. I had to read that out just to make me feel better and I had to say it out loud as well so everyone heard it. Little homage to the movie on Jinxes. Thank you, Paul. But we're going to talk about that later on a different episode, yeah? Again, sorry, I've gone a bit too fast, but yeah, these images are gorgeous. Now, it sounded like Corey, the photographer, did the stuff. The in-house photographer did these. I don't know what that... I don't know if... yeah, we'll have to... We'll get confirmation. But let's talk about these images as well. I couldn't see anything necessarily like obvious other than Torch in the background of that one on the left. But nothing was really standing out as like an Easter egg or a cheeky, you know, extra kind of character they've tucked away or whatever that they love to do. Scott, can you translate the icons for me, and we'll do that on the next episode, and we'll do that on the later episode. But yeah, there's nothing about this figure. Yeah, Corey is our lead photographer in our in-house studio. Thank you, Shooting the Galaxy. Thank you. And Corey did these, right? Which is great. They're beautiful. I can't wait to talk action figure photography with Shooting the Galaxy. It's gonna happen. I'm reaching out to you after this episode is done. Let's do it. Right. Excellent work as always. And yeah, again, beautiful shots. Again, here's another little shot showing that isn't the same one. He's holding knives in that one, and he's holding his swords in that one. It's like a again, you're getting a little twofer. And I love that you can put the crossbow on the backpack as well. That's crazy pants. So you can store everything on the figure. Oh, I'm not going to be able to get through this with pants on, am I? I'm just not going. It's not happening. Pants optional at this point. I'd still love a classified diorama catalog poster from Shooting the Galaxy, like the old inserts. Leon, we all would. I think you're 100% yes, please and thank you. Which head do you prefer with Night Creeper, says Crimson Vader? I've got to say, for this particular figure, I prefer the one on the left, the classic. But that head sculpt for the version 2 is glorious. Glorious. And I can't wait to see it on a V2. I cannot wait. Can we get this now, please? Anyway, brilliant stuff. Everyone give Chris a minute. Yep, pants have gone. Pants aren't here anymore. They've been burned. And of course we got the actual figure as well, and it looks great. It just looks so good. I can't. There's nothing else I can say. I've already said at the beginning. This is action figure perfection. Nothing more to say. Let's move on to Dreadnought Torch. And we got a little explanation, didn't we, of the Nox rule by Lenny on this one. But again, I've got to say, I think this is probably the best. I know Ripper's getting rave reviews. Buzzer is getting mixed reviews. But I think Torch, from looks, I'll probably make a different decision when I have them all in hand. But Torch, to me, is standing out as a pretty solid figure. Someone was saying the other day that they didn't like, and apologies for calling you out. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm using this comment that you made on the boots because I don't have that same feeling. But I saw a comment the other day saying that the boots used from Mindbender were kind of putting them off a little bit. But for me, I don't know. I think that's genius reuse, because Torch, that's his vibe. Like, he looks like that. And he loves those like sexy knee highs. Like, he's all over that stuff. But anyway, yeah, I think this is another banger. What a wave, eh? What, not just a wave, but like a selection of product this way round. What an absolute, I mean, we say this every single time, but it just seems to keep like going up a level, doesn't it? And again, I'm the same with you on this one, Paul. The more I see the figure, the more I love it. Agreed. Agreed. Um, Torch still try to read. That's effort. That's a good point. Figure six pack. That's the other thing as well. I also sort of feel like, even though I'm talking about them individually, I see them as an unbreak. It's a three. You have to have them all together. Like, you can't have like one or two. You have to have all three of them. Specifically, those three dreadnoks, more so than like. And even though I grew up with Ripper, Buzzer, Monkey Wrench, like, they were my three knocks because they were the ones that they utilized in the comics as a threesome. Kitty said, because Torch wasn't used in. We didn't have Torch in the UK. Yeah, maybe Flamethrower. I don't know, but we had Blowtorch on Palatoy card. We had Charbroil. So yeah, I don't know why we didn't have Torch in the end. Maybe it was just a little bit too much, which is ridiculous when you read some of the comics and how brutal they were in like Action Force Weekly and Monthly. Like, and Battle Action Force was like the most brutal comics ever, and yet they draw the line at a biker gang flamethrower specialist. That's crazy pants. Anyway, I think it was really because Monkey Wrench was out at the time and they wanted to push that figure, and it was a bit too, maybe it was too much like Torch. Maybe that was the thing they were thinking about. Maybe that's what happened. Either way, Torch is a banger, and I'm into this one. And we get, of course, some lovely shots again, and some real good shots of the actual flamethrower with that skull. We looked at this image on the left last night. That was one that was kind of leaked early. I mean, earlier than the other ones that were leaked, but that was the first one that popped up. And then we get these other ones of him just kind of like, walking through this like really dark, kind of messed up kind of building alleyway sort of thing. I'd love to know the exact location, or the narrative location is what I'm getting at. Not so much, obviously, the exact location would probably be wherever they take the pictures, but I mean like the narrative location for this. The person who was mad at the boots never rode a motorcycle and laid a leg on a hot exhaust pipe. Bikers like to keep their skin. Yeah, unless they want to. Yeah, they want to go so fast that they might not. But no, I know exactly what you mean, Diana, big time. Torch and Mikey got snubbed in the UK. Yeah, Michelangelo's another one. The Nunchucks got snubbed anyway. I may take the flames out of the skull's eyes so the whole thing is visible. That's a good shout. Yeah. It comes without the flames, doesn't it, for the eyes? Does it? Or have I gone mad? No, the flames are attached, aren't they? So yeah, you might have to cut them out, maybe, unless they are. Did he say that they could come out? I can't remember if he said that. Let me know, please, in the comments. And yet Torch was riding the Thunder Machine in the Action Force catalog. Was so frustrating we couldn't get him. Yes, Leon, because they were utilizing US imagery, weren't they? But you're right that there was a lot of like confusing elements for sure. Location: Wigan on a Friday night. Punking, you are spot on. That is Wigan, Friday night Wigan, right there. For those that don't know, just Google Wigan. I'm kidding. Wigan's fine. It's great. I mean, he's wearing chains, spiky vest, a spiky armband, a headband, a leather choker, and people think the boots are too much. Yeah, totally. Excuse me, I'm getting a little bit of burpage because I've been drinking soda pop. There's a small flame, looks like it's removable. Well, there is a small flame, but that's for the end, I think, for when it's just kind of petering out. I think the flaming eyes are glued in. I think they're connected for Evsies, which is a shame. Chuckle's also not in the UK. That's true. That's true. Due to the negative backlash on Hawaiian shirts. That isn't as true, Leon. But yeah, I don't know why he didn't make it either. Right, let's move on. Yeah, you can see that there's the removable flame in the small one in the end of the flamethrower, but with also the eyes are still on fire. The eyes on fire is almost like it's like always happening because it's like ready. Do you know what I mean? It's on. But yeah. But I kind of love the flame effects. I think that one looks really cool. How that's kind of napalming out there. Yeah, Chuckles didn't make it, not because he was banned for Hawaiian shirts. Don't get it twisted. He just didn't appear in the US, in the UK. Sorry, we don't know why. I don't know why. Sorry, the collective we might, but I don't know why. It might be something as basic as a mold issue. They couldn't access them, which is probably usually what the problem. Like they're elsewhere, they're being used elsewhere for whatever reason, or they don't have access to them. Or just wasn't really relative to the narrative they were trying to tell is another aspect, because that was the case for a few characters. Because don't forget, a real American hero came out in the UK in '87 as Action Force International Heroes, and was effectively the names and birthplaces and elements in the file cards were changed as well. So it made things a bit confusing. So Chuckles might have been one of those bit too far. Plus, he didn't appear in any of the VHS episodes other than the movie. But by that time, who knows? It's confusing to me because he's in the film, but we don't see him in anything else. And I know he wasn't in the Sunbow cartoon. What I'm getting at is, in the UK, we only had the VHS tapes, so it's weird that we didn't get him because he was on the movie. But anyway, by the by, great shots. And this again, Lenny did mention. There's the flame upside down now. So is it upside down on that one? No, it's up. It's yeah, two different ways up and down. I like that. That's really cool. And there he is walking again through Wigan with his pistols out. Get your pistols out. Yeah, great figure, solid. Love the design. Love the aesthetic. He's phenomenal. And they did. I don't think they show. Yeah, they have shown that. Yeah, that ball flame is there, isn't it? Ball flame, which is not to be confused with when you get an itchy nether region. Right. Do we have a shot of the back without the pack? Yes, we do, Carl. And unfortunately, we'll talk about this first. Nox rule, as Lenny said, he can't spell, and that was his silly sense of humor for this particular figure. Simple as that. I know I said that Lenny would explain it, but I didn't want to like just say, so I let him explain it. But he explained it very quickly. So there you go. Yeah, hopefully the backpack stays on here. But like again, that was the joke. Nox, Nocks, is just a sorry, Phoebe's dreaming and she just did a dream bark. I'm not sure if you heard that noise. That noise was her dream barking. She just went Meow. It was adorable. Anyway, lovely stuff. There you go. That's that Nox rule, and he spells it that way because Torch in his universe can't spell. Now, this is the back of the figure. They went with a kind of studded, like silver studs, basically spikes almost on the back of the leather jacket, rather than something that I was kind of hoping they would throw on there. The logo, the kind of biker logo that he was given. In fact, shout out to Andrew Franks, who I believe, I'm pretty sure, designed that logo for that figure and put it on there in the first place. Phoebe is dreaming of G.I. Joe. Cute. She is, Joe, 100%. I really hope that noise made it onto the channel. I'm going to have to watch this back and hear when I'm talking about Torch and hear if she does do it, because that is really cute. She's so adorable. She's just, I want to pick her up and show her to the camera, but she's so sleepy right now. Anyway, so yeah, they didn't go with the logo, but I look at the backpack, I look at the surface area, I look at what they did, and I'm like, it's pretty cool. I would like to have seen that logo utilized again, but unfortunately not this time. But yeah, Andrew Franks, shout out to Andrew Franks of Boss Fight Studio fame, and ex Hasbro. Now let's continue looking. Oh, actually, yeah, another good little element here. What are you sending me, Darren, on the stream? What are you sending me here? When you get to dock, try to count the 11 accessories, but the G.I. Joe Day Pulse pose for the dock definitely called for alternate gloved hands. Yeah, I was sent that image as well, Darren, earlier, and we kind of discussed that. Torch's file card states he's illiterate. Exactly. And I think I mentioned that when we first talked about that Nox misspelling, when it was revealed on the digital render a few months back. OMG, Phoebe's Dreambox. I know, honey. She's doing it. It's so well. She was doing it, and she was doing that thing when she was like running as well. It's so adorable. Yeah. What am I saying? Maybe third-party sticker company can jump on that. Yeah, possibly. The tattoos. Let's talk about the tattoos. What's really cool about this flame tattoo is that it fades going towards his wrist. How cool is that? I'm really into the tattoos. I don't have any personally, but I love seeing them on classified figures, and I love seeing what they do with them because there's been so many just in this wave. Doc's got a tattoo just above his butt on his lower back. I'm just kidding, he doesn't. But yeah, like Torch has got this one on these ones on his wrists. Did he have one on the other side of the arm? I don't think he does. It's just the wrist, isn't it? Does he have, and he doesn't have one on his chest, does he? No, just checking. No, but he's got tattoos on his wrists. Jinx has got a tattoo all up her arm. Norgahide, who we'll look at a little bit later as well, he's got tattoos on him as well, all over the place. Let's get into Jinx now, anyway. Well, for lack of a better term there. Let's discuss Jinx. There we go. Now, it's no, like, I make no, yeah, I love this figure. I think this is, again, just a great figure. Yeah, that's it pretty much. Just I think they've just nailed it with Night Creeper, with Jinx, with Doc, and with you know, with all of the figures we've seen today, actually. Thank you, Zartan, for the super chat. It's a hard knock life. I should have that image on while you're saying that. That makes way more sense, doesn't it? Thank you very much. We really appreciate the super chats. And it's actually Zartan, of course, from G.I. Joe fame, from Dreadnought fame. Thank you very much, Zartan. Now go and change into someone else. Now, yes. Jinx, phenomenal. I love what they've done design-wise. I love that it's not just a repaint of Vipra, as so many people thought it was going to be. I still don't know why. And the head sculpt is just phenomenal. Gorgeous head sculpt. I love the hair. I love the everything about this figure. The sleeveless idea as well is really cool. And Lenny mentioned they wanted to give her a bit more kind of edge, make her a little bit kind of grittier as well as a character. And I like that. I think that's really cool. Make her look a little bit more badass, basically. And what I would say about Jinx as well is there's so many elements on here that you can just say, well, we've effectively, you can see where they're going to do a retro. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like inevitable, isn't it? Like, I feel like you get the hooded head, put that on there. You get sleeved arms, and done. You've effectively got a retro carded version of Jinx, and you don't have to change anything other than the arms. You don't have to change the loadout necessarily. You know, you can probably still keep the alternate head if you want, but you can take it out if you want to do it. I don't know. It just seems really cool. And you know, if you keep the head in there, or maybe they do a head that's even more similar to the cartoon. I think you'd be all right with it. This is perfect. The staff with the kind of elaborate blades on each end, just brilliant. It looks great. It's just so Jinx. The other thing I would say with the retro version is to throw the backpack in there. Yes, I mentioned that at the beginning, didn't I? And you could have Madame Two Swords going on with the backpack. So yeah, that would make a lot of sense for a retro figure. And again, not a great deal of changes necessary. So yeah, I really hope that we do get this figure as a retro as well, because I will have many different versions of this figure, please and thank you, including a Tiger Force version, which has somehow evaded me every time I've talked about Jinx for some reason. But a Tiger Force Jinx has to be on the cards, doesn't it? And I would probably go with, I'd probably do what they did with Roadblock, in that if you're going to get a Jinx Tiger Force figure, wait till you do that retro version and then Tiger Force that, because that would be brilliant. Anyway, cheers. By the way, honey, if you're still watching, I stole one of your Zevias. I'll replace it with nothing. That just sounds like I'm going to wee in this and put it back in the fridge, but no, I'm not going to do that. Right. let's move on with Jinx because there are some stunning promo images. Again, the removable blindfold is not only is it a really fun addition, but how well have they executed that? Like it's really like tight to the head sculpt, but it doesn't look wrong. It looks really like natural. And when Lenny put it on on the show, it just looked great. Just brilliant. How about a Viper repaint using the Jinx body? Yeah, that'd be cool, actually. Yeah, so if you did like a retro Jinx and then you use that retro Jinx to do a what am I talking about? To do the Viper. So you get that kind of maybe like the twins, the Viper twins as well, like with the two different red decos. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, like a retro Viper as the retro Jinx. Is that what you're saying, Darren? Because I think that would be kind of cool. Yeah, with sleeves. That yeah, definitely. Agreed. Blindfold is so well done, says G7M9W. Plastic Battle says, love it. I may paint mine red. What, the blindfold? Good point. Good point. Maybe they'll do that for the retro. Just saying. There's another element they could do without much of a change, right? You could paint it red as well. Oh, there you go. So there's a few little differences that would make it really cool. The other thing is you could just do all red for the Jinx one with the G.I. Joe logo on the thigh for the retro. Because if you look at this version, you'll see, I'm already talking about retros and Tiger Force versions, like like this doesn't exist in its all her glory, but there's like this kind of like dark color down the side of the legs and the waist and the torso, like a darker red. So it's really nice, really nice. Hold still, witch. Exactly, Leon. Yeah, brilliant use of that quote right there. I thought her blindfold was red. Yes, 46 zone, absolutely. Maybe we've just found a little added element that might go into a retro version, though. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that feels like it's almost too perfect, doesn't it? Do a red blindfold, sleeves, backpack, you're done. Another sword, you're done. Tyron says, really wish they'd improved articulation on females midsection. Lightning Collection has the best scheme, so the girls can actually ab crunch. Yeah, I haven't really. I mean, that's going to be an issue for a lot of people that really, want to do a specific pose, I guess. Because I've got to admit, I've had no issues with my like I haven't felt that way necessarily. Not saying that that feeling is not valid, Tyrone. Of course it is. If that's how you feel about it, that's how you feel about it. Again, that's not something that really concerns me, but it concerns you, so that is, it's a relevant concern. I get it. I would have to say though, like, I think they are super good articulation wise. Like, I generally don't have an issue with it. But then again, you give me a figure that has better articulation, and I'll probably go, oh yeah, it might be just one of those things of out of sight, out of mind sort of thing. Which I'm aware that happens. A red blindfold comes with a Marvel Legends Elektra. I wonder if it would fit. That's a good question. G.I. Joe logo down the leg or not? I say for the retro version, you add the logo just because you want to do it like the retro version. Personally, well, I say the retro version. She doesn't. They cut it out. They cut it out, didn't they? It's on the. Let me just get my head straight here. Sorry. I'm going 3D Joes for Jinx right now because it's going to be quicker and easier. Yeah, they removed the logo for the figure, didn't they? But they had it on the 2-up and of course the original design. I don't know. It would be they wouldn't have to do it. They wouldn't have to do it in that sense because obviously the logo only appears on the 2-up and of course the original kind of design before they costed it out. So like I feel like only if they're doing like a movie one, if they do a movie one, then yes. But if they're doing something more akin to the figure vintage, then no. But it kind of depends where they go with retro because they could do a series of retro figures that are specifically movie based that come in VHS cases, which I still think is genius. And I definitely have wanted this to happen so long, and then they do it with Marvel Legends and stuff like that, and I'm kind of like, oh, just steal that idea. It's fine. They won't mind. We had VHS too. Cheers. Anyway, I think the retro version should be animated accurate with the big chest logo. That's another good shout, Steps Toys. Yeah, the big, like, huge logo for the animation, and the figure had the small one on the chest. You'd kind of have to do a different torso, I think, because you're not going to get it on there, are you? We didn't see Starduster. No, we didn't. We didn't see Starduster. But we did get some news about Starduster, which we'll talk about shortly. This is a long stream, but you know, it is. They all are, really, aren't they? This is a good shot. This is the kind of looking like hanging off a blooming building. Look with ease. I tell you what, put me in that position. I'd be in like a pizza on the ground immediately. Like no problem. Some of the retros have been Sunbow accurate. Destro, Zartan, Scott. Yeah, but you could kind of argue that they no, actually no, that's a good point. That is a good point, actually. Yeah. I was going to argue that Destro is effectively the same no matter what you do with him. But yeah, Zartan was definitely decoed with that in mind. Yeah, Jeremy, you get a no prize because you have been saying for ages. We'll get to that in a second, but yeah, you'll get a no prize, definitely. Anyway, look at the tattoo as well. You can just about make out the pink, I guess, like cherry blossoms on the indigo tattoo. I like that kind of addition there. It's a beautiful tattoo, and I really like that for Jinx. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, there you go. And there she is in all her glory, being all ninja-y. Oh, it's such a great figure. It's such a banger. I love it. And I love the fact that you've got multiple options with her. It's like a few things, but still really cool. Oh, okay. Now you're really talking, Darren. Darren's like messaging as well at the same time. It's like I'm getting multiple fronts. And I have to check messages because I just want to make sure, everything's going okay elsewhere in the world of life. But Quick Kick's backpack, painted black, would work for Jinx. And you've got a bloody good point there, Darren. That would be a perfect backpack for a retro Jinx. Almost like they've done that on purpose, if that is the case. But yeah, there you go. I think that was perfect. Just do that. Just do that. You don't even have to retool anything. That's what we want in a retro Jinx, please, and thank you. Right. Let's move through. There's a shot from the rear. I just wanted to actually, the reason I took the shot was not because I was being that guy. It was because it shows the deco down the left leg. See that darker strip of color, I swear. And Jinx's backpack is perfect for Quick Kick. Yeah, you could just whip them. Actually, when you get Quick Kick, just put that backpack on her and you've effectively got Jinx, haven't you? Anyway. Oh yeah, someone mentioned about painted nails, but I didn't notice on the figure if she does, because obviously the original didn't they? The original figure did, but I don't think this one has. I might do that myself. That might be a fun little custom where you just paint the end of her fingers red. That would be kind of fun. And there she is with the blindfold. Again, it just looks so good. And yeah, yes, it should be red. But again, I think we're dealing with some sort of, it might be red for a retro release is what I'm saying. I think that's very likely. Suppose Jinx is related to Akiko from the Snake Eyes movie. You could definitely do that in your headcanon, 100%. Buying extra Sergeant Slaughters to give their guns to Snow Serpent kind of defeats the purpose of saving money with the retro card vote. No, I'm not saying buy extra Sergeant Slaughters. I'm saying you've already got to. If you're a collector, Ryan, you are already going to have 2 Sergeant Slaughters, are you not? Well, you're going to have 1, but you're going to have 2 very soon. So you just take those 2. Right, and that's 2 Snow Serpents you kitted out. That's all I was saying. I'm not saying you buy Sergeant Slaughters, but also if you get Sergeant Slaughter on clearance, where he was like getting cleared out on ollies, if you're lucky enough to do that, then you got a bunch of others for almost not much. Just saying. I was kind of doing it tongue in cheek as well, honestly. yeah, there's in reality, I don't think people in the military are allowed to paint their nails when they're in uniform, but this is GI Joe Diana and not real life. I'm gonna paint her nails. All right, let me have that. um, yeah, let's move. Right. So and there's the head, which has actually got a very good the bit on the back, the tassels on the back of the hood are actually quite flexible. I like what they were showing off a lot of good stuff here, like the torches blast effects were not wibbly at all. They're a good rigidity. The knives were like you could flex them about and they wouldn't break, but they returned. Her little for lack of a better term, flaps on the back of her hood. They were like a good flexibility as well. So that was really cool. Darren says, correct. No coloured nail polish in uniform, but Jinx is not in an official uniform. Good points all round. Cobra officers have plenty of spare guns for her. That's true as well. Yeah, yeah. There's enough AKs in the line to kit out your snowies, your snow serps. They're also not usually going to battle in pajamas, carrying swords while blindfolded. That's a good point, but I'll accept all of these, ridiculous things. Sorry, I'm just kind of multitasking a little bit, or multitasking, as I should say. You're also not allowed to wear a football jersey into combat. Says you, Steps Toys. That's not what Bazooka says. Grab my ankles. Right. Then we've got this is oh god, we're going to be here for hours. Naugahyde, pork belly, and yobbo. Oh my goodness. I like how they're like, and we think yobbo is an Australian slang term for someone who's a bit stupid. Yobbo is like a thug, effectively. So if you're a yobbo, you're a thug, and it's Aussie, and it's a bit of UK slang as well. It's not just restricted to Australia. We've been calling people yobbos for years, and maybe we did, and then that travelled to Australia at some point, if you know what I'm saying. But yes, you'd have to look at the full-on etymology of that term, but still, that's effectively what it is. I loved how they were kind of like saying, and they also shout out Mark, who is one of the writers. He's the writer, I think, or one of. I don't know. I don't want to just say he's the writer, just in case there are more, because I think there might be more. But Mark does a lot of the copy for this stuff, and he comes up with a lot of the names, and he does a lot of this stuff. So shout out to Mark. And he was called out on the stream as well. So yeah, big shout out to Mark, and also big shout out to Mark. Hint, hint, wink, wink, for another thing, a name that you put into the line. So thank you very much, Mark. Anyway, they couldn't do that one, Carl, could they? They probably couldn't use that one. That's a bit more offensive. Yobbo's a little bit like it's kind of not very offensive. It's just it's a bit of a soft one, isn't it? It's a soft kind of slang term. Anyway, Naugahyde. Hot diggity dumplings, what a set this is. And I know there's, we've got like low lights gun bag and rifle. We've got shadow tracker gear as well in there, but we have got a lot of new stuff. That wrist machete is gnarly as hell and is just like his original. I love it. You've got pork belly, who is one of the most incredible animals in this line already. I just know it. Haven't got him in hand, but pork belly looks phenomenal. And then Yobbo, who's such a fun addition as well, who is definitely going on my classified Zanzibar when that happens in 2055. But by the by, this is next level. This is like, this is how you do it. This is how you do it, even though this is how we do it. But this is how we do it, right? Naugahyde, yeah, all over it. And these shots are great. Look at the hat, like propped up on his stab. Like he stabbed the machete in the ground. He's put his hat on it. This is Muldoon versus the Raptors right here on the left, isn't it? This is Muldoon taking his hat off, putting it to the side, gently opening the butt of the gun out, which I'm surprised wasn't already out anyway in that situation. But by the by, and then getting the Raptor in his sights, and then clever girl. Yeah, and then that happens. So anyway, that I just wanted to say that because this is the vibe I'm getting. I've got a funny feeling Porkbelly is going to jump out the side and smack into him, and he's going to be like, "Clever girl." I don't know what sex Porkbelly is. We'll have to turn Porkbelly over to find out. Anyway, clever Yobbo. Yeah. So brilliant stuff. And the animals, man, like this whole line for me, it's got nothing to do with action figures. Like, I don't care about G.I. Joe. I just care about the animals in G.I. Joe. He says wearing a G.I. Joe hat, surrounded by G.I. Joe, wearing a G.I. Joe hoodie, G.I. Joe pants, G.I. Joe socks, G.I. Joe sneakers, G.I. Joe helmets over there, G.I. Joe more sneakers over there, G.I. Joe figures. But of course I love G.I. Joe, but it's the exaggerated joke of me talking about how great these animals are, and they are phenomenal. Now, I love the scarring on his head. That is just so dope. And he's definitely, as a poacher, they're playing that up, as he said on the stream. But that is like a gnarly attack that's happened there. And it just adds more to this character, way more to this character. And again, we've got some pretty bonza tattoos, as they say in Australia. All of the animals are genderless in sculpt. Hasbro is Lanard. Got it. I'm going to say that Porkbelly is female, then, just because I think that's awesome. Anyway, right. So yeah. So again, tattoos are wicked on this one as well. But I love, the fact that Yobbo can just be on his shoulder. Yobbo can be on the back of Porkbelly. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of fun with this one. I'm getting like so many fun 80s movie vibes with animals in this one. Isn't Lanard? Sorry, I see what you mean, Darren. Sorry, because they did have occasionally put in a little bit of yeah, I know what you're saying. Anyway, yeah, just there's not much else to say other than that. I just love it. Now, there's a cool couple of things to point out. The skin that he's wearing, the fur that he's wearing, is jaguar, a jaguar as we call them, and the pattern is very specific and very exact for a type of jaguar, and also they have this color phase or change as well, which doesn't necessarily happen on the vest, but that's what he was talking about. Like, they have that kind of, as the pattern goes down, as the pattern progresses, the color kind of phases as well, which is pretty cool. But there's just so many details on this actual figure. And if we go back to this one, you can see that cobra tattoo around his head, which is really cool as well. Again, just a great addition to the character, and makes it way more interesting. Fills that space. There's a lot of surface area there. No disrespect to any of the bald characters or bald people, but yeah, it kind of really fills that out. Adds another element there, which is quite nice. Father's car's a Jaguar. Yeah. Call them bangers and mash. I love it. Yeah, that would be the UK version, wouldn't it? Bangers and mash and Norgahide. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Love the storage options and everything. Again, really cool. Obviously, he's got. Can he have the back? Can the quiver go on when the gun bag is on his back? It should do, shouldn't it? Because it's got the port in it. So yeah, so he can have the gun bag on his back, and he can have the quiver attached to the gun bag, and he can have the bow attached to the quiver, and he can have the wrist machete on him, on his wrist. The knife, there's a knife. That ain't a knife. There is a knife, and that plugs into the sheath on his belt, back of his belt. Which, if you watch my Let's Talk Classified Norgahide video, which you definitely should, I talk about the fact that yes, he had that. He basically had on the vintage figure, he had a knife on the lower back of his vintage figure, molded on. And I was like, I wonder if they're going to put a knife on the vest, or if it's going to be on the belt. I actually said that out loud. I wonder if that's going to be the case. And lo and behold, they do a knife on there, which we'll look at in a second. There's Porkbelly and Yobbo looking adorable. Very, very Hakuna Matata kind of maneuver right there, Timon and Pumbaa style right there. But you can just about see the the sheath on the back of the belt right there, but we'll see a better shot of it in a second. There you see the tattoo and the scars as well, really nicely. Great stuff. There you go. Look at that pattern on the back, first of all. Pattern's gorgeous. And then I love the fact they've carried that like almost like that furry animal skin into the the secondaries, like the wrist, the bicep strap, the bit around the hat that holds the teeth on, or the claws. And then you've got the the sheath on the back as well. Brilliant stuff. Python Patrol pork belly is a good shout, Leon. I like that. Kind of top heavy with all the gear, says Lawson. Yeah, but like you can. That's the thing, though. I still prefer the fact you can kit them out. Like you can gear them up and everything's on them. Like that is so much more. Like it's just really satisfying that that's available. But you don't have to carry all of it. That's the thing. You could just stick one of those items on. He could just be carrying the rifle, just be carrying the bow and the quiver. You know, you've got that option, that choice. Choices, options. Oh yeah, pork belly is definitely female from that shot, says Ryan. Yeah, basically. Anyway, love it. Love this figure. I'm all in. Look at the detail on that. Oh, how good was that little anecdote, by the way? That the teeth on Norgahide are the actual, like they're like, you know, not the actual teeth, but they are the models and sculpted on the actual sculptor's teeth. He had the sculptor who did this particular head sculpt. He had some dental work. They did like a scan. It was a 3D job, and he asked for that scan, and they gave it to him. And then he utilized that in his 3D sculpt for the Norgahide figure. I think that's freaking hilarious. I love that. I think that's really fun. So that was a really fun little aspect. And if like you want to get the full story, obviously you can check there. If you haven't seen the stream, go check that out. Link in the description, either after this or during now. You can go if you want now. I don't mind. I don't care. Watch me, look at me, enjoy me. Anyway, that's Norgahide. And oh, I love the Anarchy tat as well. That's wicked. That red one. I'm glad they kept that on the left-hand side. They gave him another tattoo on the right-hand side as well, on his right bicep and upper arm. And I really want to see more detail on that, because I don't really think I've seen it properly yet. I haven't at all seen it properly. On none of the pictures really show it off. So I'm gonna, do they show it off on any of the other? No, it's all. Oh, and we didn't really talk about Pork Belly's amazing like additional extras, like the nose ring and everything, but the broken tusk and all that stuff. Loads of deco on Pork Belly as well, which is great. Anyway, phenomenal stuff. Phenomenal stuff. Now, I guess all of the necklace, like the dog tags and the teeth and everything, they're all separate pieces. That's crazy cool. Love that. This is great. This is a great figure and a great set, and I'm here for it. Then, just in case you thought it was over, it ain't. The SMS was dropped. A lot of people were saying when the leaks were happening yesterday. I feel like we go through this every single live stream event. There's a leak that happens, and people just comment on what's missing. And I kind of think, well, we're not seeing everything, are we? So we're probably going to see it. Plus, we knew from a couple of days ago, a little bit longer than that, but we knew like publicly that this particular item was going to be a Pulse exclusive. And the 4 items and Norgahide that we saw leaked yesterday were, like standard retail. So it's no surprise that some got out earlier than others, basically. And then like really late at night, I think this SMS kind of images started kind of doing the rounds. I woke up at like 3 a.m. this morning to take Kate to the airport, and it was about 3 a.m. I wake up and look at my phone and it's blown up. Like 45 minutes prior to that, all of the SMS images went up. So I kind of posted it like 45 minutes late, but still it was 3 in the morning. Like I thought it wasn't doing too bad, but no, they kind of popped up much later in the morning. But here it is, and it is an absolute beast. This thing is friggin' massive. They did hint at the Stinger again, Crimson Vader, and we'll get to that 100%. Let's face it, I think we can accept that a Stinger's coming. But what I was saying before was that I think we can also accept that that wasn't the Stinger driver in the Clutch promo images. It was almost certainly the Ferret Scout, because of the same. The deco is it's like a grey figure basically. Anyway, this is freaking mental. Like I knew this was big based on the render. It is a huge. Those missiles originally, when they first did it, were 12 inches long. They're now like just under 9 inches long. That's stupid. This thing is gigantic, and I'm down for it. Like seriously. And just seeing how it worked and operated was really cool. The Techno Viper's great. It's a brilliant figure, and I'm really happy we're getting it in a different flavor. Bonza, nut. But then obviously you lift the little leg pieces up as shown there. Boink, boink. You lift the back piece up, and then you reach for the kind of connector piece, the toe hook and whether this, the toe arm, I guess. It's got a little oval shape cut out of it, and obviously that goes over the toe hook, and that like locks into place nicely. Now, the beauty part about this is that it can go up and down. Like it can go, it can kind of change height so that it can go low for the HISS tank, or it can go high for other vehicles that it might be towed by. So that's pretty dope as well. I think anyway. I think it's really cool. Now, sorry, I'm trying to do like 600 things at once at the moment, and I can't even. Yeah, now we were told that originally the price point was going to be, I want to say $64.99 is what the price was when we first got it revealed to us. It is now $74.99, so it's gone up $10 from what we knew, what we thought it was going to be. And I think it's because of the size, and I think there's probably things have been changed. Maybe that's why it's taken this long to kind of like get to this point, because obviously it was they joked about it. They said it was revealed ages ago. Do you know what I mean? Like a long time ago. So it definitely was going to be, from what we were kind of given information wise, $64.99, and it's $74.99, which is, I mean, it's pricey, but look at the size of the blooming thing. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. Anyway, and it comes with a figure, and it's got some cool stuff. So obviously the like I said, the adjustable toe arm is just great, isn't it? So great. Like the fact that, I mean, that's not something I would have even thought of. I'd have just put the toe hook the same height on every vehicle, but of course that's going to be ridiculous. You can't do that. Design, you're not always going to be given that opportunity. So the fact that the HISS is a low toe means that other vehicles are going to have high toes, like possibly the Stinger, which is, I think the worst kept secret in the G.I. Joe fandom. Now that's the new worst kept secret. What was the old one? What was the old worst kept secret, guys? We were joking about it a lot. I can't remember now, but yeah, here you go. Boom, shakalaka. It's basically saying, yeah, but let's face it, it's also not like, it's not a major spoiler to say that there are going to be other vehicles that you can tow things with. There are other vehicles coming. They've talked about it. They've explained that the Vamp is effectively like the Stinger is a retool of the Vamp. The Vamp exists in the line now, so of course it's like, it's so obvious. It hurts. So yeah. I can't wait. You know what? Someone just mentioned the Dragonfly in the chat, and now I just can't wait for that. I'm so excited to get that thing in the post. That is arguably that's my most anticipated thing, actually. I take everything back that I said on whatever New Year's special I did. The Dragonfly is 100% my most favorite thing that I cannot wait to get in hand. Yeah, it's just going to be great. The HISS tank was phenomenal. I'm so happy that I have that. So the Dragonfly is just, yeah, yes please, and thank you very much. Anyway, you have rotation of the missiles base. You have tilt of the missiles as well, and you have the wheels obviously go around. Yeah, there you go. There's the connectivity on the old HISS tank. There it is, towing the. I mean, this is The HMS, we have to say now, don't we? But this is like, how long have we been waiting for this? So long, so long. I prefer to think the Techno Viper is $50 and the MMS is a steal at 25. Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's a good point, RKW. But I'm talking G.I. classified, so I can get away with that. But the Robo Skull, I mean, come on, that's going to be lights out, amazing. So many cool things come in. But my most anticipated G.I. Joe classified is Dragonfly, is what I was getting at. But someone just mentioned Dragonfly, so it sparked in my brain. It's the kind of, it's shiny, it's in your hand, I want it situation. Right. And then of course we got the whole team all lined up. Yeah, the fire team came in, the His Tank, the HMS, the Techno Viper, and there you go. Look at that. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'm really excited to get because I don't have the fire team yet either. That's something I'm really I really need to pull the trigger on. But it's so cool to get them all together like this, and it does look great as a combined kind of thing, and hopefully more to come as well. The wheels on the HMS go round and round, round. I did say that, didn't I? But I just didn't sing it. The shot of that whole team was fire, says Miguel. It really was. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And also, one last thing, the little panel comes off that he showed us, and you get the little display for like and you've got to do that thing that he even said that you have to do when you take that panel off. Otherwise, yeah, there'll be trouble. There'll be trouble. The SMS rounds out the whole His set. It really does, Joe, doesn't it? Metalhead ironically fits this color scheme. He does, Leon, weirdly enough, doesn't he? Love that little panel, says Paisano. Yeah, it's neat. It's neat. Now, pre-orders were 3.5 hours ago. I don't know, a long time ago. When I started this stream, I was a young man. No, I wasn't. I'm just a lot older now. But there you go. That was information that would have been good 2 hours ago. And a half hours ago. Let's talk this stuff. So I've updated some graphics. Unofficial leaks are still Retro CC, Road Pig, Heart Wrencher, IG Bat, Thunder Machine, Snowcat. They're all safe. We'll probably see them Yojo June, maybe, I would assume. Or maybe something just before Yojo June. Maybe they'll do what we now, March, April, May, April. Yeah, they might do something in April. You never know. But if not, we'll probably see all this stuff in, in some form or another, either in name-only reveals, which you don't really see, or in render reveals, which you do see. Chris, how many vehicles could they release in a year? So if you counted like a HasLab as one, and then you counted the start of this year, if you count the SMS as a vehicle, which I kind of think you might as well sort of do, and then if you throw in like your mid-range vehicles, let's say for argument's sake, we've already had Vamp, but that was last year. Let's say for argument's sake, Thunder Machine and Snowcat, and then you have like the Ferret and a repaint of the Ferret. That's 6, but I don't think they would do them in 1 year. I think you'd probably have the HasLab, so that's 1. You'd probably have 1 of the mid-size. You'd probably have 2 of the small, and then 1 that isn't a vehicle but does something else. So maybe 4 or 5. 4, probably 5 at a push. That seems like a lot, though, doesn't it? I don't know. Year is a long time, but it also isn't a long time. I'm not reading this out, but I'm looking at what you just sent me. Interesting. Putting that down. Oh, is this old? It is, isn't it? Oh, okay, cool. It's old. Okay. I just saw a listing and thought, oh, I've got some information I can't show on this screen. No, it's an old thing. I'm just waiting for context. I'm waiting for the context clues of why that was sent to me. Anyway, how soon as we get classified wind-up motorized action packs? I need to get that motorized axe so that I can recreate the time I never got Ripper and got that instead, because I still don't have Ripper, and I've got a feeling that history is repeating itself, and they're gonna there's gonna come out, and I'm gonna be in a store in Target one day, and I'm gonna be there, and I'll be looking at, and Mom and Dad will be visiting, so Mom will be with me, and I'll be looking at Ripper, and I'll be looking at motorized battle axe. The reason I'm saying this is because this is what happened when I was a kid, and I'm gonna get the battle axe. And I didn't get Ripper, and I regretted it ever since. And I still haven't got Ripper. What is going on with me? I can't believe history is repeating itself. Anywho. Oh, thank you, Darren. You're just sending me a list of every vehicle revealed so far and when they were or are to be released. Thank you very much. I get it. Thank you. Great. Yeah, so that's a conversation for a different day, I think. Maybe later. Do I have Buzzer? No, I do not have Buzzer, and I'm angry with myself that I don't have these figures, but also it kind of still coincides with us buying a house, let's face it. So I'm still being very careful. I'm not jumping 2 feet into this situation just yet. I'm going to wait again until, like, until the dust has settled, which actually, honestly, is settling quite nicely. But and the house is phenomenal. Like, we love it. Like, absolutely love it. Phoebes loves her yard. No, she's sleeping at the moment, but she loves the backyard. Anyway, by the by, there is that kind of, like, we're being careful. So because of that, there's going to be an element where Buzzer and Ripper just have to wait. Which is sad, because they're so, like, they're ingrained in my psyche. I need those figures at some point. Anyway, did I order the Crimson 3-pack since it's on sale clearance? Not yet, Darren, but I should do. But again, even though it's on clearance and I know it's a great time to get it, I've still got to be careful. Anyway, they're the unofficial leaks. I changed the name only reveal graphics. This is what took me like hours and why I didn't start till late. But yeah, so we still have, like, Starduster is still intact, and we know a bit more information about Starduster now. Yes, thanks to Angry Collectors. Should I just go to that thing now? Yeah, they posted this earlier. SDCC exclusive deluxe Raptor and PulseCon exclusive deluxe Starduster. So they posted that earlier. So that's what they know to be the exclusives for this year. And the hilarious thing is, we had those listings in front of us the whole time and didn't know. Although Jeremy did claim, he kept saying, I bet Starduster is an exclusive, either SDCC or PulseCon. He kept saying it. And then the other day I said, it looks like it might be. And then they go and reveal that it is. So I said this, I think, on, was it yesterday's stream or the day before, where I said that we'd found out that PulseCon exclusives were the MM designation. It might have been a couple of streams ago. And that Starduster might be a PulseCon exclusive because of that. And lo and behold, he's a PulseCon exclusive. So there you go. Now, zip back to the name only reveals. So yeah, that kind of puts us in this kind of, like, so Starduster will probably be revealed over SDCC, surprisingly enough. Sorry, PulseCon, surprisingly enough. So we probably won't see much of that until SDCC. So we might see the render at SDCC. We might see the render at Yojo June, actually, based on the distance that they do these things. So yeah. Now, what else? So Alpine wasn't revealed. He's in the next 4-figure wave with Iron Grenadier and the other two, the Iron Grenadier Bat and the one we can't say still because it hasn't been name only revealed. Leatherneck and Dial Tone is the new one that we've added to the Joes. And then over on the Cobra side, we took away the Ferret, the Retro Eel and Snow Serpent. We also removed Retro Beachhead, because obviously they've been upgraded to digital renders. And I added Frag Viper and Saw Viper to the list. Now, how does this kind of like look to us now? I kind of feel like with the name only reveals of Dial Tone, Leatherneck, Xandar, Frag Viper, and Saw Viper, I feel like we're talking quite a ways into the future with those, right? We haven't had... There's a few name only reveals they could still do as well that we know are coming, and we can't say anything. We're sitting on it, which is annoying. but you know, we will when the time comes, obviously. Yeah, so we're in a position here where we're probably looking at way in the future, aren't we? Like Alpine, Iron Grenadier, and obviously Raptor and Starduster are this year, and they're going to be Stardust is PulseCon, Raptor is SDCC, Alpine, Iron Grenadier. That's all pretty safe. We can expect to see those sooner rather than later. Probably Yojo June. We did cover the Boo Boo thing, Darren. Yes, Boo Boo, and we'll get to the listings in a second as well, because this is the longest episode in human history. I don't even think Kate's watching anymore. She probably felt like this is too much. Why are you still doing this? Eat something. Go and eat something. Don't worry, Phoebe's all good, and as long as Phoebe's all good, everything's fine. Now, what I will say is, so I think that we're looking at like Leatherneck, even maybe Dial Tone, Saw Viper, Frag Viper, Xandar. I feel like they're going to be probably a bit further on. Nemesis Immortal is interesting because we've had that listing for a while, and I would expect to see something this year. I really would. So yeah, that's really cool. But you never know. Dial Tone, Frag Viper, Saw Viper, they could slot into the listings that we have already and haven't identified. So yeah, that's another possibility. When can we expect Leatherneck, Jason? 2025, early 2025. Could Leatherneck, Dialtone, Saw Viper, and Xandar be the first 4-figure wave of 2025? Says Ryan. It's a strong possibility. It's a very strong possibility. None of them scream deluxe to me. Leatherneck doesn't scream deluxe. Dial Tone, maybe, if you wanted to do something really freaking amazing, like give him like some sort of like communications center or something. But like, again, those 4 figures scream standard retail and could be done brilliantly at standard, like the 4 we've seen at standard retail that have been absolutely riddled with accessories and amazing stuff. So yeah, I have to say that is that's a very good shout, Ryan. I already covered the Boo Boo thing. Yeah, that's it's quite fun. But again, we'll get to it with the listings in a second. Yeah, so name only reveals. When are we going to see them? Like I said, Leatherneck, Dial Tone, Frag Viper, Saw Viper, Xandar, 2025, Starduster, Alpine, Iron Grenadiers, Raptor, Nemesis Immortal, probably this year. Well, obviously for Starduster and Raptor and Alpine and Iron Grenadier. Not sure about Nemesis Immortal yet, but more than likely 2024. Now, digital renders. I've changed this one as well, look. And I've made it so you can actually see the text at the bottom because it wasn't lining up nicely with the slideshows that I'd use on here. So the digital renders we have at the moment are still, we haven't seen any hide nor hair of Nightforce Ripcord Glenda or Nightforce Crazy Legs yet. We have obviously seen, and we haven't seen like hide nor hair of them. We should do soon, I should imagine. But again, I imagine we'll get like something closer to the time. You know, maybe like an update, maybe in the mid-range between now and Yojo June, or maybe they just wait till Yojo June to do like a special. One of the videos could be a special Dragonfly update. So that kind of makes sense because they've got to spread some. They have to spread stuff out over a month, and people have just lost their minds with expectations for Yojo June, and it has pushed that team to do stupid, more ridiculous things every year. And I tell you now, Yojo June is going to be absolutely cracker bonkers like it was last year, I reckon. Cracker bonkers, which is 2 completely crazy words together. Cheers. Now, I've added, obviously, to the list, Retro Beachhead, Retro Cobra Eels, Retro Snow Serpent, and the Cobra Ferret with Scout, because that's all we have at the moment. I imagine Yojo June will fill this up a bit. It'll probably take some away as well and fill a load out more. What is Walmart showing? Well, we don't know yet, do we? But we have. There's an inkling, but we don't know for sure. But what is we don't? Yeah, and again, that's up for interpretation, isn't it? Because someone actually mentioned this, didn't they? So what could Walmart be doing? So I think with that. And also thanks to Angry Collector for revealing those 2 and striking them off the list. as you can see, I've slightly updated this list, but I didn't get there in time for Boo Boo. So we do know what Boo Boo is now. It's the 2-pack for Tripwire and Roadblock. So I will update that, and I'll post the updated one after this episode, and I'll put all the other graphics on there as well. So they're the updated graphics for what we have at the moment. So there you go. Now, yeah, like I said, I've changed. You might also notice I changed it to HMS with Techno Viper. I was being really on it today. SDCC for Raptor. We obviously know that Buttercup is the Mad Marauders Sarge. We know that Scooby VH is the Ferret and Ferret Scout. We know that Norgahide is Muttley Pet. We know all of those ones. Stardust, and now I put PC next to it, which basically means PulseCon exclusive. So same why I put SDCC at the top there for Raptor. I put PC next to Starduster to say PulseCon exclusive. I should have probably put Pulse exclusive or P next to Cobra Ferret, shouldn't I? I'll do that as well. I will definitely add that because that is that's another kind of element. I should have a key on there as well, shouldn't I? Explaining what it all means. Yeah, we can add Boo Boo to this list now as well. So Boo Boo is Tripwire and Roadblock, which is great. Thank you guys for doing the detective work on that. We know Nemesis Immortal is an Atlas Deluxe figure, or is Atlas Deluxe. We know it's a deluxe figure, so excited to find out what Whipsnake's 2-pack is. Still not a clue. Snow Serpent, Eels, and Beachhead are the next, so I put them in order. So I've moved that around a little bit. So you can, so Snow Serpent, Eels, and Beachhead are the next 3, and then the 3 following that, which I think we'll find out probably Yojo June, will be Retro Casey, which is Cobra Commander, Retro Oki, which we don't know, and Retro Azrael, which we also don't know. We've got the 60th Rough and Ready, Action Marine and Action Pilot. Still a bit more information to come for those two, so we'll have to sit on our hands for that one, unfortunately, a little bit. And of course, we know Night Creeper, Torch, Jinx, and Doc. We know who they are. And then, of course, we've got the new listings for 2025. Now, could these that we're looking at here have anything to do with what we've already got for 2025, aka name only reveals for Leatherneck, Xandar, Dial Tone, Frag Viper, Saw Viper? Possible. Daria Deluxe. Thing is, though, I think about those figures, I can't see any of them being deluxe, really. I just can't. They just don't seem, they don't shout, they don't smack me in the face as a deluxe figure. But like I said, Dial Tone could be really cool with some sort of communication station, couldn't he? Like a communication center would be amazing. Daria Deluxe, that possibly Daria Deluxe. Salvador, it's a BB designation, so it might mean, it's going to mean something. We just don't know what it is yet. What else? The 3 retro figures that are in there, Pinky Brain and Elmira. We have no idea who they are, but could one of those be could it be Dial Tone as a retro figure? You don't really know. Could it be Leatherneck as a retro figure? Could they just be pulling them out of, throwing them into retro straight away? I don't know. And then, of course, we've got this legacy listing, which I haven't really talked about in great detail on any of the shows. I just haven't. It's just an interesting one. I don't know what it could mean. Obviously, it means, RR Tommy means Rugrats Tommy, probably, because it's the whole animation thing, and that's going to be a theme in itself. But the legacy thing, so interesting. These are all new designations, by the way. The AN on retro just, I think, means Animaniacs because of Pinky and the Brain, and of course Elmira joining Pinky and the Brain later in the series, in the seasons. Later in the Animaniacs, I think, and Pinky and the Brain was a spin-off of Animaniacs as well. And then, of course, with but it's the legacy thing that's really making me interested. Could we be seeing that kind of a Storm Shadow, or is the legacy going to be like a line of conceptual stuff? Is it going to be like the Ralph McQuarrie vibe of classified series? I don't know. Darren says, but Rugrats is Nickelodeon, not Warner Brothers. I don't think it matters. I think they do it's more they just do animated series, they get to a certain point, they run out of stuff, so they just switch it up. So I've got a feeling that we might see more Nickelodeon stuff happening in the listings later in the year. We don't know yet, do we? But RR Tommy, difficult to think of it being anything else. Maybe Power Rangers, and the RR could be, or maybe it's Rescue Rangers then. Oh, have I just unlocked that? Because Rescue Rangers is Warner Brothers, isn't it? Is there a Tommy and Rescue Rangers? Rushes to the internet. Have I just deciphered the code? Rescue Rangers Tommy? No, it's Power Rangers comes up. Tommy Chow is a secondary antagonist in the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Tommy Chow. Have I oh, is it Disney? I'm sorry, I thought it was Warner Brothers for some strange reason. Oh, I got all excited then, thinking I'd like unlocked the key. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's Disney, isn't it? Yeah. Maybe, I don't know then. I got all really excited then. I know I've said Rugrats before. We've just been talking about Rugrats. We've literally been talking about Rugrats. But the fact that it's a different thing, I just got really excited then, thinking I'd unlocked it. But no, it's Disney. You're right. Oh, well. Anyway, we'll find out eventually. But I'm really excited. Oh, Legacy could be replacement for 60th stuff. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, like, because obviously it's not going to be the 60th in 2025. So maybe that's a good shout. That's a good shout, actually. I don't think that's the first time I've heard that, but I think that's a good shout, Tristan. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. That's a possible. Like it. Anyway, yeah, this is a long one, isn't it? Crazy. Right, we'll bring it to a close. I'm going to do another episode tonight, but it'll be a short one about the backs of the packages, because it'd be nice if we can go into it in more detail. It'd be more fun that way. And you never know, we might get more news the way things are going. I wouldn't be surprised. Have a wonderful few hours before I see you later. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, we'll do later as well, and then we can have a bit of a Q&A session there. But for now, we have been doing, like, it's been 2 hours and 20 minutes almost. Wow. Yeah, let's bring it to a close. Stay fresh, cheese bags. What an amazing day, and it hasn't finished yet. I'll see you in a few hours. As always, after 3, what do we do? 1, 2, 3. Far too long. Full force. See you later. That's it for this instalment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on X, formerly Twitter, @The Full Force, liking the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Full Force. We've also added a brand new Instagram, so check us out there as well, @The Full Force Podcast, and if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.